Oh yes, what a good day. What was that? Oh, how devastating. Welcome back to the Tyrant Hangar. This is Mike. Today I want to talk to you about the RT-02 Tyrant recolored version, and we've already taken a look at this figure, but now this is a different color. Most of this is going to be checking out color variations, doing some comparisons, and just kind of a refresh on the whole mold, but it's a pretty good figure, pretty solid figure. Now, I did get this at Showzy Store, and I'll have a link down below where you can get yours too. And of course, if you put TH in the support your reviewer, it does help the channel out, and I pick up more items such as this, so you can have a look at it on the channel. But let's take a look at the RT-02 Tyrant R recolor coming up. Right, here's the package. It's simple, plain, cheap. It's how you keep the price point down. Just simplistic packaging, and not even instructions. Of course, I think I covered that the first time. You just follow the QR code to get your instructions, and I'd actually prefer a nice window box or something along those lines. But if you're opening it anyway, it doesn't really matter. All right, so here he is out of the box, and I gotta say, first of all, the color scheme is quite interesting. Just doesn't really match the pictures to me. I think it's a little bit on a lighter kind of orangish level, and it's got a really nice, where the blues are painted, it has got a real nice metallic, kind of a metallic look to it. I think that looks really good. And yeah, it's more of an orange, but I mean, I'm sure everyone's color palette looks a little bit different in their eyes. And I think it's kind of cool and interesting. It's just something different. Now, from what I understand, this character, it's an homage to something that happened to Grimlock in G1, from my understanding. But that's what I was hearing from someone. But I really don't know, in all reality. I do not know about it, but that makes me a poser. And I'll be talking about that pretty soon. But some of the things with this, same old stuff that we had with the first one, of course, is all exactly the same, but different colors with it. But he does have this blast effect that goes into here, which I think is kind of cool. It's kind of fun. Getting this thing on and off, I remember being a challenge. I haven't done it just yet with this one, but it is very challenging getting that on and off. From what I remember, I kind of don't want to take it off, but I probably should have to make some of this stuff work. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. Let's get into quick articulation, then accessories, and go from there. All right, the head's on a ball joint, so up and down, side to side. You can actually cheat a little bit more to the up, and you get quite a bit to the down, which is very impressive, very impressive. You got the shoulder. You can go past the 90 by flipping that upside down and doing that. You can do some disco moves there. You do have it's not a swivel on the bicep, it's a swivel right here. So it's more of an elbow swivel. And there's the elbow going for it. And then let's open this up and see if we can get this sucker off of him. That's how we did it. You fold it all the way this way, and then it gives you the leverage to take it on and off. And then we have the arm. Good deal. And then you got some swivel on there with the hand, waist swivel, ab crunch. Hearing a lot of figures not having waist swivels these days. So it's going backwards. Leg goes up to there, out to here. It's going to be hindered by this piece if you really want to get you can move that if you want to get a little bit better if you want. And then you got the thigh swivel. Is it double jointed? I don't remember. No, it's not double jointed at the knee. And you have foot. Everything's tight, side to side, up and down. You get all the range you could possibly need with that foot, and it's very solid and very stable. Now, I do want to point out, and I've said it in the first video, but I got to point it all out again. Very hefty. Lots of die cast in this guy. Like the thighs, I know the thighs are. The torso, the waist piece, maybe this here. All this is die cast. So at least 50% of this figure is die cast. I guess if you count, like all this is plastic on the backpack, take the side from the backpack, but the actual figure himself, about 50% of that is die cast. Gives him some heft, and that's pretty good. It does come with a red toothbrush. If you want to use the red toothbrush with your purple one, then you could do that. That would work. But there he is brushing his own teeth. That's kind of fun, I guess. And then we have the gun, and in order to put that in, you have to do the old pop the bottom off. They actually ship separate. Put the gun in, and it's actually a really cool gun with a giant scope on it, so that's pretty cool. So he's got this, he's got that gun, which works relatively well. It comes with a couple more hands. He has a splaying hand, you just pop them off, pop it on. Guess he can slap Waspinator, and then he's got a pointing hand, so he can give directions to his crew. And then I don't even know about these tiny little faces. I'm not sure if it's really worth it trying to. He's like a growling look, and there's another one. So anyway, those are the accessories, and I guess they're okay for what they are. All right, getting into some comparisons, as you can see side by side. I try to get them exactly what they got. They've got the same kind of laser pointer, laser shot going on right there, and they should have the same head in, because I don't swap heads on these. Too small is going to lose the pieces. But as you can see, the color variations, obviously, I like the original one better. First of all, I like purple a lot, and it's what I want in there. But it is cool to have the variation. It is very interesting variation, but you can see them side by side. Also, let's get into looking at a few others. I couldn't believe how many of these Legends ones for Beast Wars I've already gotten. So there's, I think this is Toy World. Don't quote me on that, but I'd have to look it up. It's been a while since I've messed with this guy, other than just in comparisons. And he looks pretty good, but I gotta tell you though, this one doesn't feel nearly as solid. I think this one even has die-cast in it. It's kind of loose in the hips. This one is super solid. And I gotta admit that even if it's got a stylized look to it, it fits in really well. And then we've got a couple of primes. And we've got the standard one here in the bot mode, and then we've got the alt mode version for, I guess they had a fiery one. They had a fiery one, so we're standing up the alt mode one to make it look a little bit taller, but we'll have that for comparison in the other mode. And then I'm not sure, I'm guessing this is the modern version of Waspinator, or it might be the 30th anniversary. Got it like $5, maybe even $3 at a toy show, so it's the only reason I bothered picking it up. But the Waspinator is supposed to be smaller, but I mean, it kind of still works. Yeah, let me fumble with it off camera for just a second, but yeah, it sort of works. I think that's the 30th, the Thrilling 30 version, but yeah, I mean, I could work with that in a display if I didn't. In lieu of them not making a Waspinator, I would suggest it. All right, so here he is in his alt mode, and I think this actually looks like a pretty good alt mode. I like the colors on this dinosaur, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to keep this in alt mode. So you have one in bot mode, one in alt mode. That's kind of the size difference between them from going from one mode to the other. Now, I didn't show the transformation this one. I showed the transformation on that one, and there's no need to make the video too much longer, so you can always refer to my first video for the transformation if you'd like. It's actually a pretty good transformation. Anyway, looking at it, I do like this blue on here, and I keep thinking it's purple. That's why I keep bringing him in. It's not purple, it is blue. And then the red and all that kind of gives me that vibe of what Hasbro did with Megatron when they were doing the crossover for Jurassic Park. But that one was more brown than this, but this is more orangish, reddish, fiery red. You do have some paint on those eyes there. It looks pretty good. And not much to say about this guy. The articulation just up and down right here, not a ball joint. The head does go up and down, and not much. When you start going side to side with it, it'll do it, but it'll untab everything, which does kind of suck, and it does make it look a little less good when it comes untabbed. Down here with the legs, you can move this around a little bit, of course, to adjust, but you got legs up, down, and a little inside and out for a little bit, so he can look like he's actually walking and stuff. And then the tail, it does wag. You could get more out of it, but you untab stuff to do it. But this little waggy tail over here, kind of cool. Gives him some character. It works, and it's very solid, super duper solid. And yeah, all in all, I think that I'm more excited about this one in the alt mode than the other one because of the color breakup. Now for a bunch of comparisons here, we've got some dinos in the dino mode, and that works. He's pretty much the same size as the Magic Square Grimlock, just completely different look. Looking way different, so. Depends on what aesthetic you like, what you're going after, all that stuff. But he'll fit in, he'll work fine with your dinos on your dino shelf. Like definitely feels like he doesn't need to be there. He shouldn't be there, right? But here's the thing. The more I look at him, the more I start to wonder the Raptor. Like, how are they going to do when they finally get around to doing Dinobot? I mean, that'll be kind of cool. Here's how he scales with Optimus and Megatron. And you're probably saying, but what about Optimal Optimus? And so here's how he scales with Optimal Optimus. And I wanted to do this so you could get an idea of the difference in size for the Optimal Optimus and the Optimus Prime and the Megatron. So you can kind of see how this fits and scales in the world, because most people, I believe most people that are collecting Legends are collecting sort of G1 scale stuff, and this gives all of you an idea how these look, how they scale, what the size of them is. And the New Age Dinobots, I gotta say that when I like the toy version of Dinobots the most, and I think they are knocking it out of the park. They are doing a fantastic job with the dinos. A lot of people say that I knock New Age too often, but I give them pluses when they deserve it and criticism when they deserve it. But man, these look fantastic. Oh, and that's how they scale next to them. So that's my look at the Robot Toys RT-02 Tyrant. The O2R. It doesn't even say R on the box. But it is the repaint to the red fiery look. And I think it looks pretty good. I'm going to keep him in his Dino mode. It's going to work well, Dino mode. For me personally also, it's going to be helpful for future comparisons. Comparing other Legends figures. We need the comparisons to know how big they are and how they fit with your collection. So let me know what you think about this. Are you going to pick one of these up? Is this something you think is kind of cool? Do you think these repaints are just kind of a waste? Or do you feel like they fill a spot or just something unique? But I think if this shows you store, I'll leave a link down below where you can get yours. And please use the TH reviewer code in the Support Your Reviewer if you go over there and get one of these or anything else. Like, subscribe. Teddy Hanger out.